If you hear a hollow sound, that could mean that that coping has been undermined and it's going to be loose very soon. Hi, this is Mark from Gardner, and today I want to talk about coping. Coping is subject to weather and water conditions that can really deteriorate coping if you choose the wrong kind of material. So you have to be educated a little bit on what's going to work for you and your pool and the style and vision you have for it. Water can seep between the coping and the deck into the expansion joint, which is usually filled with mastic. But sometimes the mastic can dry out and crack and allow water to seep down and then undermine the mortar that's underneath the coping that's on top of the bond beam wall of the pool. That wall of a pool is called the bond beam, and coping will sit on top of it. Water can also seep in through cracks behind the tile line that you don't even see. And the way to test to see if you have a problem under your coping is with what's called a tap test. Very simple. Take anything you might have, like a rod or a broom or even a rock from your landscaping, and tap the coping along the edge of the pool and listen. If you hear a hollow sound, that could mean that that coping has been undermined and it's going to be loose very soon. Now, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to replace all the coping around the pool unless you hear that hollow sound in a lot of different places, or unless you see that the coping is already damaged or lifted or cracked. So you could actually, though, in an individual case, lift and reset the coping and reuse that same coping and save a bunch of money. There's a lot of different types of coping available, and you need to make a decision based upon being educated on the pros and cons, budget versus longevity, the look, the style, color. One of the considerations is grout joints. The smaller the coping, the more grout joints you're going to see. So brick coping will have a lot of grout joints, while a precast coping, which is much wider, can be 24 inches wide, will have fewer grout joints. So make a decision based upon that information too. Also, you'll want to know how the coping lasts under the conditions of weather and the water splashing out of the pool. I suggest you ask your pool contractor if you have a proper expansion joint between your coping and your deck where the mastic is supposed to be put in. Because an improper expansion joint can allow damage to occur to your coping, not only because of earthquake movements, even minor movements in earth in California, but everywhere in the country because of thermal changes where there's expansion and retraction going on with your deck and your coping all the time. If your deck pushes up against your coping without any cushion in between, it can crack, or it could even push the waterline tile off the side wall of the pool. Some copings will need to be sealed in order to keep on looking good, like flagstone. If you don't seal flagstone around a pool, it's going to start to flake off and it's going to enter into your pool water and it's not going to look pretty. So that is a maintenance issue you should be aware of and be prepared to maintain over the years. You can also look at budget. On the one hand, you might have brick, which is a lower cost coping that's actually pretty durable. On the other end is marble or travertine. Beautiful, but you've got to be aware that it can be slippery. If water is splashing out of the pool, it can become a little bit of a safety hazard. So think about how you use a pool, if you have young children or not, and be careful to choose the right coping that's going to fit every one of your needs. Hopefully this information has helped. Thank you.